Prostitution is a practice or occupation of engaging in sexual activity with someone for payment. Within the United States, prostitution is illegal in all but one state. It is illegal in the state of Nevada, where it is regulated very strictly. In the state of Nevada, prostitution is allowed only at brothel houses, which can only operate within certain areas of the state. Prostitution is considered a crime for a couple of reasons. One reason in particular has to do with the fact that there is an exchange of money that is not being regulated in any way. For instance, one cannot be arrested for prostitution unless it is known that there was the intention of an exchange of money for sex. There is a lingering question if prostitution can be controlled as a business. A rise in sex trafficking will be caused by the demand for more prostitutes. Because of this, I do not believe that one could truly run a legitimate prostitution business. However, not all prostitutes may be victims of sex trafficking, but the majority of women within the prostitution business are potentially victims of the sex trafficking. In his article, Micah Schwarzbach states that prostitution by itself is usually punished by the court with a misdemeanor charge. He goes on to say that acts that involve individuals such as pimps are punished as felonies by the courts. In some instances, when underage prostitutes are involved in a crime, penalties can become much tougher. If a pimp argues that he was not aware that the prostitute was of age, it usually does not hold up as a strong defense in court. I believe that prostitution should not be legalized within the United States. I wrote about prostitution in particular because this is something that is an issue within our country, even though it is illegal. I know that after researching this topic even more, it has brought to my attention some interesting issues that arise and stem off of prostitution. Some questions that may arise may be, why is prostitution considered a crime? One reason prostitution is considered a crime is because it is the sale of sex and the government is not getting any taxes off of this business. Also, is there a way to control prostitution as a business? Because prostitution is so under the radar, the government has a difficult time collecting taxes. The government will continue to run into individuals such as pimps who will still try to illegally sell women to men for sex and will continue to run his underground sex ring. So I believe that there is not a good way to truly control prostitution as a business. Also, are all women who are prostitutes victims of sex trafficking? I don't believe that all women are victims of sex trafficking. However, the majority of women being sex trafficked is a high possibility. One can see that the rise and fall of sex trafficking can be directly linked to the rise and fall of the prostitution industry and how much of a demand there is. Another is, if one gets caught doing prostitution, how serious can their charge be? If one chooses to plead guilty in trial, the person may receive up to 1 year in jail. Or in some jurisdictions, they may instead receive community service assignments or be put into a rehabilitation program. And lastly, should we as a country legalize prostitution? I would have to argue that we should not legalize prostitution as a country. People already doing prostitution illegally are already doing prostitution illegally, and setting legal limitations and regulations on prostitution will not help people from continuing to practice prostitution outside any legal guidelines.